Today, we're diving into a story of transformation that is, well, it's almost hard to believe. It's a journey from absolute rock bottom poverty to the very top of a financial powerhouse. This is the story of Eknath Thakur, and it all starts with one single jaw-dropping number. 36,000 crores. Let that sink in for a second. That's over 4 billion US dollars. Now, you might think that's some tech startup's valuation, right? Nope. That's the total business of a cooperative bank, Saraswat Bank, back in 2014, an institution that was led and completely transformed by one man. So the question is, how did he pull it off? And really, that's the heart of it all. How does a cooperative bank, of all things, achieve a 900% jump in business in just 15 years? The answer isn't just a business strategy. It's woven into the life of the man who made it happen. To really get our heads around that kind of growth, we have to understand the man himself. So let's start at the very beginning, with the architect behind this incredible story. Because, you see, this architect's story doesn't begin in a fancy boardroom or a business school. It starts in a small village where his character was forged in the kind of hardship that, frankly, would have broken most people. I mean, the resilience here is just staggering. He was born into poverty in 1941 and lost his mother when he was only 2. By the time he was in 4th grade, his father had also passed, leaving him completely orphaned. He had to work in a grocery store just to get by, and this is the key, he never, ever gave up on his education, eventually fighting his way to a degree from Pune University. And that degree? That was his ticket out. He stepped into the professional world, and it really wasn't long before those exact same qualities, that grit, that sheer determination, started to look a whole lot like leadership. So in 1966, he lands this really prestigious job as a Class 1 officer at the State Bank of India. But he wasn't just there to punch a clock and climb the ladder. No, he quickly became a powerful voice for his colleagues, eventually leading federations that represented hundreds of thousands of bank officers all across the country. This all leads up to a defining moment in 1976. He had a choice to make, a really stark one. On one hand, the secure path, stay a high-ranking officer at India's biggest bank with a stable, influential career ahead of him. Or the bold risk, resign in protest of the national emergency, give it all up, and start his own training school from absolute scratch. So did that risk pay off? Oh yeah, in a huge way. His new venture, the National School of Banking, went on to train 300,000 young people for careers in banking. 300,000. He didn't just build a new path for himself. He built a superhighway for thousands and thousands of others. And his influence just exploded. And fast. Get this, just 1 year after making that life-altering decision to resign, he was in Geneva representing India and was unanimously elected vice president of a council at the International Labor Organization. This whole journey of leadership, from union meetings to international stages, it was all leading up to the main event of his professional life, the absolutely spectacular turnaround of Saraswat Bank. Just look at these numbers. When he took over as chairman in 2001, Saraswat Bank's total business was about 4,600 crores. By 2014, it had just skyrocketed to 36,000 crores. That's the almost 9-fold growth we mentioned. So what was the secret sauce? What was his strategy? His strategy was really a masterclass in smart growth. First, he took the helm in 2001. Second, he didn't just try to grow from the inside. He strategically acquired and revived smaller, struggling cooperative banks, which strengthened the entire cooperative movement. And third, in 2011, he went national. He secured a pan-India license, breaking the bank out of its regional box and expanding its presence across the entire country. And here's the part that makes all of this even more incredible. This monumental growth, this national expansion, he achieved it all while privately fighting a 42-year battle with cancer. Just think about that for a moment. But even with this incredible professional success and this immense personal battle, banking was still only part of his story. His life was also one of deep, deep commitment to public service, way beyond the world of finance.
He took that spirit of service to the national stage, serving as a member of parliament for 6 years. He worked for social unity as the Secretary General for Baba Amte's famous Bharat Jodo Abhiyan, and he never, ever forgot the power of learning that got him started. Serving as a trustee for education societies and supporting literary organizations, his life was just a constant act of service.
So, when you look at it all, what is the legacy of a man who built so much while overcoming odds that seem, well, pretty much impossible?
The awards he received kind of tell the whole story. There were awards for his work, like the Saraswat Ratna, which means the Jewel of Saraswat. There were awards for his incredible resilience, like the Cancer Victor Award. And there were awards for his entire life of service, like the Lifetime Achievement Award from Rotary International.
Eknath Thakur passed away in 2014, but his legacy is defined by a really clear set of values, a strong belief in collective growth, in transparency, and maybe most of all, in the power of education, the very same tool that lifted him from poverty and empowered him to lift up so many others in turn. And that really brings us to our final thought, the story of Eknath Thakur, the orphan, the grocery store worker, the cancer survivor who built an empire. It forces us to ask a pretty powerful question about our own lives. What if our greatest obstacles, the things that feel like they're going to break us, aren't meant to do that at all? What if they're the very things that are forging our greatest strength?